Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of my videos tonight, which I think will be part 3 of 5. So, behind me we have Camp Crystal Lake. My Amazonian 75-gallon biotope. This tank is actually the first tank I actually set up, and something I am very proud of how it is coming out, how it's working out, and I'm going to take you guys through it. You can see already on top, I've actually got a Nicrew light. This is a phenomenal light system. What I love about it is it's on a 24-hour cycle. So at noon, it is at the brightest setting it can possibly be. From noon, it will dial down to kind of reds and whites and oranges and blues for sunset. And then it'll actually go to blue and white to blue for nighttime. At midnight, it goes totally off. Stays that way for a little bit and then starts to cycle back up to blue with a blue red in the morning to white and cycle back to noon. And it actually operates on the same time frame as your regular 24 hours. So sunset and sunrise, they're all at about the same time appropriately. This actually does have another cool feature. It is a storm function. I can actually make a lightning storm happen in this tank, which is really fun. Haven't really played with it much yet, but you're gonna have to excuse the one Halloween decoration inside the tank. Normally, I'm not a fan of doing non-environmental decorations, but my love for Halloween is kind of overridden that desire. So let me take you through this tank. You can see up on top, this is a Penguin Bio Wheel. This is meant for a 75-gallon tank, or 80-gallon, I can't remember the exact specifications. And then you see over here are the intake and output for a canister filter that I will show you. Now we go down here, and as with the rest of my tanks, all natural wood, planted tanks, as well as natural rock formations. I've tried my best to actually create as many caves as possible for all the fish to actually hang out and hide in. You might be able to see one of my discus hanging out in there. You've got some of my angelfish, Lucifer. He's the black one, who's a dick because he will not pose for photos by any stretch of the imagination. As well as some pottery, a lot of branches going on, and then my large heater. You can actually see the heater directly in here. Try and get a good shot of it. It's right behind the angelfish and the tetras. With that heater's great. I've got it centrally located between both filter systems, and it actually helps create an even dispersal of heat throughout the tank, keeping the tank at a 82.7 degrees. So very ideal for a lot of these tropical Amazonian fish that I have in here. I've got discus, I've got angelfish, I've got tetras, I've got a Pistogama macaretti. There we go. I've got a couple electric blue balloon rams. I've got skirt tetras. I've got clown pleco. I've got an albino bristlenose pleco in there, as well as some fancy guppies and some assassin snails. So yeah, it is something that I'm currently working on. When I treat this, very much also, I did not mention this on my Southeast Asian tank, but when I do treat them, I do treat them with a bi-weekly treatment of Flourish for aiding in the growth of the plant systems. We're going to go ahead and open this up into the cabinet underneath. You can actually see my API XP filter down here. My entire power strip is over here that runs everything, and I do have that set up so that it is on a what's known as a lighting loop to keep electrical systems from having water run down them directly to a electrical outlet. So that's a safety factor, as well as my canister filter sits inside a bucket. Part of why my canister filter sits inside of a bucket is the fact that my special needs 5-year-old son did actually open up my canister filter one day and proceed to dump about 15 gallons of water from the tank into the living room. Since then, to help in the future event of that, the canister filter sits inside of a bucket that can hold 15 gallons, as well as locks have been installed on this specific cabinet. But back to the tank itself, this is a tank that runs all the time. It is a main feature in our home, and it sits there. Once I set it up, it runs completely. You will notice a different substrate in here than on the two tanks upstairs. This actually has the African cichlid substrate, which I have found is great for plants. The black sand does do well for plants. I have actually had plants upstairs in the Southeast Asian tank that have taken a great hold to that. And that is something that, it's up to you. You can absolutely plant tanks in sand or in whatever you want, really. But that is the Southeast Asian, or that is the 75-gallon Amazonian tank.